to Career UpRising. I'm your host and professional career coach, Lorraine Rise. Join me as I guide you through an amazing journey of self-discovery and empowerment. If you are looking for work, changing careers, or stuck in a toxic job, then this is the show for you. I offer both practical and spiritual guidance to help you up-level and advance your career. Let's start the uprising. Hey everyone, you are listening to episode 81, A Generalist or a Specialist. As I always say, please take a moment to hit subscribe on Apple Podcasts and maybe even leave a review of the show. I would really appreciate it, and it would help bump me up so more people can find me. It's a simple, easy way to pay it back for being a listener and benefiting from the show. All right, so how are you guys doing? So I record these a little bit ahead of time. When this airs, it'll be mid to late May. So I don't know how things will be going then. Right now, we're all still in quarantine and likely still will be when this airs. So I've been talking a lot about the situation on the show. But what I also announced last week or in the last show that's still happening now, I want to make one more mention that I'm running a little bit of a promotion here to celebrate the 5-year anniversary of my coaching practice this month. That's right, you guys. Career UpRising is 5 years old. I got me another toddler. So I would love your help, and I want to give you a free gift, and this is not going to cost you a thing, not a dime, not a penny, okay? I would like for you, if you like this show, and if you feel that you have benefited from it, whether you've ever been a client of mine or not, I would love for you to write a review on Apple. Do a rating and a review of the show. Then email me at lorraine@careeruprising.com. Let me know so I can verify it, and then I will give you your choice of a free gift from my online store. I have 3 meditation MP3s and an ebook that you can choose from. All of these, whether you choose the book or a meditation, will expose you to the techniques that I use in my own life to reprogram my thinking, which is the foundation for any change in your life. A lot of people maybe think that that's not really that important. I just want help with my resume. I just need help with my LinkedIn. I don't need all that fluffy thinking stuff. Those are the people who need it even more. Okay? Yes, you do. That is the foundation, my friends, for everything. It's all about mindset and what you think is possible. So that is your starting point to manifest any kind of change, a career change, job search, more confidence, anything like that. So I would love to give you a free gift. So you can either write a review for the show on Apple, or if you're an Android person and you don't have an Apple account, I'd be more than happy to accommodate it if you would write me a LinkedIn recommendation, and you can talk about your value that you've gotten from the show that way. So again, just email me and I'll send you a link on LinkedIn and we'll do it that way. All right. There's no limit to these, but there is a time cutoff here. I'm doing this in the month of May. So you need to contact me and show me your review by May 30th. Okay? Awesome. Thank you guys so much. I hope this helps to spread a little bit of cheer. We're celebrating something here, right? We need a celebration. Okay. So I am really, really fascinated with something that I'm going to share with you today. So this topic is one that actually is more recent, that swirled into my brain, and I'm just really curious about it. So there's this age-old kind of debate in the career world about being a generalist or a specialist. What does that mean? So kind of meaning, should you stay a jack of all trades or go deep into one field in a niche in your career, right? So a specialist is usually someone who has mastered the skill of a particular trade or is a subject matter expert in one area, where the generalist has more broader knowledge of more things, but not quite an expert in any one thing, right? So in a way, the world kind of loves specialists. I think that that's the message that we get a lot, right? I know in the medical field, that's very much true. We want a heart doctor for our heart problems. We want a foot doctor for our foot problems, and so on. And there can be a stigma, I think, around being a generalist. Nobody wants to hire that jack of all trades, right? A lot of clients come to me wondering what to do with the broad range of skills that they have. And they don't want to be pigeonholed necessarily into any one thing, but yet they recognize that a lot of employers do love that specialist who has that knowledge very identifiable in one field. So I think we see this in the business world for sure as well, right? So people like me, we're told to find your niche, narrow your market. You can't narrow it too much, right? Speak to that niche and only that niche. Don't go outside of it. Scary out there, right? And I don't necessarily think that that is true. I kind of have a niche, but I think I'm kind of broad. I don't know. I think I have a balance in there, honestly. But there definitely is something to be said for both of these. And I'm going to kind of make the argument a little bit for both and kind of let you decide where you fall in there. But I'm going to use my husband here as an example. He's actually a bit of a generalist in a way. I've always said to him that I like this quality about him. I kind of call him my Renaissance man because he can do a lot of things. He was an airline pilot originally. That's what he went to school for and did for a few years. But now he's a software developer, and he did not go back to school to get a computer science degree. He has not a single degree or certification in computer science or anything to do with coding. Not at all. He just already had the skills before he needed them. And personally, I've changed careers twice already, each time gaining new skills and broadening what I'm capable of doing. So I think we both embody a little bit of the generalist here, but my point with him is that he had a backup skill set and that essentially let him walk into a completely new career that had very little crossover, if any, and not have to go back to school. So that right there could be a case for being a generalist, or at least not an overly, defined specialist. But again, so when I think about this concept for myself, whether I'm a generalist or a specialist, I see myself embody a little bit of both. But if I had to pick, I would absolutely say I'm a generalist. For example, I have a little bit of a niche in my coaching practice, but honestly, it's still a pretty broad niche, which is mid and late career professionals. That's still a lot of people. And I do stick to that. I really don't work with young folks who are right out of school. But the message I get as a business owner is, oh, you got to niche down, find one little market. And I just think that that's a fallacy. I don't think that that is always true. I think that it does help for people to recognize that you're the person to help them when they see that quality or that niche there. But I don't think you need to go too broad. I know a lot of coaches and people who do what I do who are, only work with people in finance or only work with people in marketing. And if that works for them, that's fine. But I don't think that that is nearly as necessary as people say. I work with people in all career fields. Really, I think I've worked with people in like 40 different industries, and I think I'm a better coach because of it. I think I have that broader perspective, and I think that benefits other people, especially when they want to change from one career to another. I've worked with clients in all of those fields. So I think there's something to be said for not going too far in one direction. But definitely, I think a benefit of being a generalist is that you often understand the bigger picture too within the organization and within the field that you work in. There's a lot to be said for having that broad knowledge base and having an adaptable skill set, having an open mind, and constantly learning new skills. So I definitely will put myself into the generalist pile. I mean, looking at my career path so far, I've done HR, recruiting, sales, management. Now I'm an entrepreneur, and I have a bachelor's degree in nutrition. I guess you could say I'm all over the map, right? But I wouldn't have it any other way. I would not. So let's take a quick commercial break. When we come back, I have more to share with you on this topic, and I have an awesome resource that I want to share with you that really inspired this show and this topic, and I'll share with you what that is. All right, stay tuned. Hey guys, we're on a break for just a minute, and I want to tell you how you can work with me personally as your career coach. My signature program, Career Transformation, is perfectly designed for clients who are going through a major career transition. If you're changing fields, or maybe returning to the workforce after an absence, or even undecided on a career path, this is the solution for you. My coaching process is laser focused and is tailored to your needs, so we'll gain clarity on your path and craft a job search strategy that will support your big career move. So if that sounds amazing, take action now by heading over to my website, careeruprising.com, to learn more about the Career Transformation Program and apply for a phone call with me. All right, let's get back to our show. Okay, so which one of these is right for you? Should I specialize or should I stay broad? Of course, you're probably not going to be surprised that I don't have a clear-cut, simple answer for you because it depends on who you are and what your goals are. So, historically, it's believed that employers like specialists. But here's the thing. That is not the best route for all people. And I don't completely agree that we all need to hunker down and pick one career path and just become an expert in it. The average person, they say, changes careers, I think, 2 to 3 times in their lifetime. Well, and I'm already there twice. And I can absolutely foresee a day in the future where I could make another career change and be doing something altogether different. So I think that's where the generalist comes in a little bit. I think that mindset is way too limiting and not realistic for a lot of people. But for some people, it could be. Some people want to go deep into one field and they know from a young age exactly what they want to be doing and they stick with that. And that's beautiful. Do that. But if that doesn't speak to you, it is totally okay. And you're in good company. So I have to admit that my mindset has changed on this. I would have always agreed before that, yes, if you should specialize, you should niche, you should go all in on that one field. I totally believe that. But then I read a book that was put out just about a year ago by David Epstein called Range: Why Generalists Triumph in a Specialized World. And I really think that you should give it a read. It shows countless research and case studies that show the opposite, that generalists are actually more adaptable to change and can have better career prospects because they can do more than one thing. And honestly, that makes a lot of sense. And I think right now, with coronavirus and everything going on, and a lot of jobs being replaced by AI, a lot of people are reevaluating their careers. And the ones who can pivot to something else and didn't put all their eggs in one basket are likely going to be the most successful. I just gave an online talk last night to a university and a group of young Business 100 class students, which I love doing. I've done that a number of times over the last year. And I brought up this topic with them as well, because I want people to feel okay with having kind of a nonlinear career path and doing more than one thing. I want you to know that that's okay. And there are benefits to that, because I see people struggle with that and feel bad about that path more so than the specialist route. And so this show is kind of for those people who don't fall nice and neatly into one category, right? So in the book, David Epstein used the great example of athletes and how professional athletes who started out practicing a variety of sports at a young age and then later on, if they may have narrowed it down to one. Those who practiced a variety of sports early on, instead of just picking one from the beginning and staying with it, actually outperformed those who had committed to one sport from the beginning. Isn't that interesting? Because we're always told, oh, start early, pick this sport or pick this instrument for music or whatever, and just do just that and get really good at that. But those people, believe it or not, the research shows at least, actually don't perform the best, even at those specific things. I think that is fascinating and really eye-opening for me because I believe the opposite. I think I fell into that trap too, that, well, we should just all pick one thing and get really good at that and practice that day in and day out, and that's how you succeed at it. And that can be one route, but it looks like that is not the only route. So I think that that's interesting. So having said all of this, if you feel called in a specific direction and you want to specialize, please do it by all means. There are benefits on both sides of this coin, for sure. They do say that specialists tend to make more money in the long run because they're valued for that in-depth knowledge they have in one subject. And I think sometimes the specialists can have an easier job search. Even though there are probably fewer opportunities the more narrow you go, I think that when you find those opportunities, you can get hired a little bit faster because it's so clear who you are and what you do on your resume, right? It's easy to write a resume that way. For example, though, last year, and I was happy to have all the specialists that I worked with for my health challenges. A lot of you might know that I had a very, very large ovarian tumor exactly this time last year. And my surgeon, who I loved, was very much a specialist. He performed only pelvic gynecological surgeries and routinely performed that exact operation that I had. And once I was done with him, I did a lot of further evaluation with a specialist, even more so than him, who focused not just on ovarian tumors, but on the exact rare type of tumor that I had. Really specific, okay? So I would definitely say I liked that, and I was comforted by the fact that I had a team of doctors that were so focused on exactly what I had. So be a specialist if you want to, and if you can, do it. But if you can't, it's okay, and there are a lot of benefits to it. Okay, there you have it, my friends. I think that was a cool discussion. If you are wondering where you fall in this, a generalist or a specialist, I'd love to coach you. We can work through what makes sense for you and for what your career goals are and how we can present you on your resume and your LinkedIn. I can help you identify your transferable skills, help you broaden them, help you narrow them, whatever you want to do. So you know where you can find me, careeruprising.com. Stay in touch. I've got articles, podcasts, videos, all kinds of things on my email list. So if you haven't joined, join me, all right? And have a beautiful day. I'll talk to you guys soon. That's it for today's show. Thank you so much for listening. If you like what you heard today, please consider giving the show a positive review on iTunes. It would mean a lot to me, and it would help to spread the word so that others can learn about the show. Thanks again for tuning in, and I can't wait to connect with you again next time on Career Uprising.
This show is brought to you by InflowRadio.com, the best curated talk radio network for personal development, wellness, spirituality, and conscious business.